The African Union is useless. These weren't just offhand remarks. These were the explosive words from one of Africa's most fearless and revolutionary leaders, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the young president of Burkina Faso. In a moment now echoing across the continent, Traoré stood before the world and called out the African Union for what he says it has become: a puppet of foreign powers, a structure that has failed to protect African sovereignty. The speech has gone wildly viral. Millions have watched. Debates are raging, and African youth are rising behind Traoré's words. Today, we break it all down. What exactly did he say? Why now? And what does it mean for Africa moving forward? Stay with us. Welcome to African Spotlight 24, your premier source for news and current affairs from across the continent. We're glad you're here. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, like, and turn on notification to stay up to date with the latest news and analysis. Your support helps us reach more people. Disclaimer: the content of this video is based on credible, publicly available information and is intended for educational, analytical, and informational purposes only. African Spotlight 24 does not promote hate, violence, misinformation, or political unrest. Our goal is to deliver thoughtful insights, highlight local voices, and encourage informed conversations throughout Africa.
You will hear about the African Union. Yes, it exists. But what is the effect of the African Union in reality? We cannot talk about integration in the theme and not talk about the African Union. Because it is this organization that should unite us, create real integration. But we regret to see these wars that persist on the African continent, killing millions of young people. And that this organization, which has heads of state, with armies, is unable to organize itself to support certain countries. The Union is not just a word. The Union is a symbol. And we, the youth, should learn a lesson from this situation to unite, to make integration a reality. I was unpleasantly surprised when Ethiopia, which hosts the headquarters of the African Union, was experiencing a conflict. And when I saw the Prime Minister put on a military uniform and announce the closure of the university in Addis Ababa to face the threat. I did not see any action from the African Union to protect these headquarters. Most Western states saw Addis Ababa falling, packing up and leaving. Ethiopia fought, found an internal solution, and is living more or less in peace today. The children of Congo have been dying for years. Several other conflicts, such as in Sudan, exist on the continent. We would have liked to see the African Union generate the forces and all the necessary strategies to support these states so they can regain peace. For nearly 10 years, the Sahel has been the theater of international terrorism. But we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem. Worse, a few days ago, a country foreign to Africa openly announced having supported and participated in a cowardly terrorist and barbaric attack against the forces of our confederation in Tinsawatten. The African Union did not utter a word to condemn this interference by a state outside of Africa in the internal affairs of our states. I would like them to hear this and therefore break their silence and take action so that the youth can believe in the African Union.
This wasn't just any public appearance. Traoré was speaking during a national security briefing in Ouagadougou, amid growing unrest, terror threats, and Western pressure on the AES alliance, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Journalists expected policy updates, but instead they witnessed what some are calling the most courageous political speech of the decade. Traoré said, quote, "We do not need permission from the African Union to defend our people. The African Union is useless if it cannot stop foreign troops from occupying our soil." Gasps were heard, but Traoré didn't stop there. He slammed the AU for staying silent while foreign militaries and corporate interests destabilized the Sahel. He asked pointedly, "What is the African Union doing for Africans? Are they not just a gathering of presidents who shake hands and protect old systems?" Social media lit up within minutes. Clips of Traoré's speech flooded Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and WhatsApp groups across Africa and the diaspora. Young Africans in Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Senegal, and Ghana began reposting with one word, #truth. On YouTube, the speech climbed to trending in under 6 hours. The comments say it all. Finally, a leader who speaks for the people. Traoré is not just talking, he's doing. The AU should be ashamed. Traoré is now being compared to Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary icon of Burkina Faso, who also challenged the international order. To understand Traoré's outrage, you have to understand the betrayal he feels. For decades, African nations have paid dues to the AU, attended annual summits, and followed continental resolutions. But what has the AU done while foreign military bases surround Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger? When France deployed troops on Sahelian soil under the guise of anti-terror operations, the AU remained silent. When ECOWAS, another regional bloc, threatened sanctions and military invasion, the raw truth that millions feel, even if other leaders are too scared to say it. This isn't the first time Traoré has clashed with international systems. Since taking power, he has expelled French troops from Burkina Faso, nationalized key mineral assets, formed the AES alliance with Mali and Niger, called for a new African monetary fund. And now he's calling out the biggest institution in Africa, the African Union. This boldness is not without risk. Diplomatic backlash is expected. AU officials may call emergency meetings. Western envoys are already reportedly pressuring Burkina Faso behind the scenes. But Traoré has made his choice clear. We will not beg to be free. Traoré's speech has triggered a deeper conversation. What should the AU actually be doing for Africa? Is it time to reform the Union? Is a new Pan-African structure needed? One driven by youth, by workers, by civil society? Some analysts are calling for a total reimagining of the AU. And if the AU doesn't listen, more countries could pull away. More leaders could take the Traoré route, defy, denounce, and demand real action. This is a defining moment. Captain Ibrahim Traoré didn't just speak. He roared. He dared to say what others whisper in the corridors of power. The African Union has failed us. We must build our own path. Will other leaders follow? Will the African Union reform or resist? And more importantly, will the people rise? The youth have heard the call. The continent is awakening, and the world is watching. This is not the end.